your case study. Okay, dekat sini saya dah buat satu slot, so you boleh upload dekat sini. Hari ni you kena jawab quiz 4 lah. Dan kalau you tengok dalam kita punya clip ni, ada tulis dalam kurungan ni final. And then ada lagi final. So ini sahaja chapters yang akan masuk untuk kita punya test 1 dan juga test 2. Jadi you boleh tengok kat sini apa benda yang dikatakan sebagai perception, decision making, groups and teams, organizational structure. If you have any questions regarding this chapter, you boleh tanya kat I dalam okay. Kalau tak ada, je dengan presentation every week, okay, daripada you all. Alright, then seterusnya kita tengok kat bawah ni. Your test 1 dijangkakan on the on the 23rd. Okay, 23rd of December your test 1. Jadi masa kuliah tu kita buat test. So kita tak ada presentation lah on that day. Fokus test saja. Saya mungkin akan buka dalam sejam setengah ke multiple choice questions dalam klip lah. Okay. Kemudian kejap. Kemudian you kena hantar you punya assignment kat sini 30 December. Okay, ada bagi kat sini dah ada dia punya due date. Okay, pukul 12:30 malam. Okay. So kalau you dah siap, you boleh buat sekarang dan you boleh hantar terus lah. Tak ada masalah. Kemudian kita punya case study tu due pada 13 Januari. Dan seterusnya kita ada test 2 pun sama juga kaedahnya, multiple choice questions dan dalam klip dalam jam setengah macam tu pada 20 Januari. Lepas tu habislah kita punya sesi untuk semester ni. Okay, I hope kita boleh accomplish lah semua ni. Dan yes.
Doktor, berapa soalan untuk test tu?
Soalan tu nantilah dulu. Okay, jangkaan mungkin dalam 40 questions saja. Okay, boleh? Alright, kalau tak ada apa-apa. Okay, kalau tak ada apa, kita boleh start dengan presentation kawan-kawan. So I give to Ashraf lah untuk lead. Ini ada berapa grup ya? 3
Ini ada 3 grup je Doktor.
Alright. Proceed
Okay, grup yang pertama sila present. Kita tak masuk lagi.
Boleh nampak tak slide? Assalamualaikum. Nampak.
Nampak?
Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Bahya and all of my friends. We are from Group 7. Today our group will talk about individual motivation. My name is Siti Shuhaila binti Muhammad Sabri. My metric number is 050235. Okay, I will be the first presenter for this group. Okay. Firstly, I will explain about importance of motivation. First, increase productivity. Motivation is a process that leads to an increase in the productivity of the employees. When motivation meets the needs of the employees, thereby it will drive employees to work for the best of his abilities. Second, ensures organizational efficiency. Motivation plays an important role in changing the attitudes of the employees in the organization. An indifferent attitude is extinguished most effectively efficiently by motivation. The presence of such a favorable attitude will allow the organization to thrive and be successful. Third, ensures loyal workforce. Motivated employees will have high levels of moral and commitment towards the organization and its goals and objectives. Motivation thus reduce employees turnover and reduce the need for constant induction of new employees. Lastly, ensures a reactive workforce. In order to react to changes easily and continue smooth functioning, an organization requires extensive loyalty and commitment of its employees. This will reduce resistance to the changes that the organization intends to make. This in fact makes the organization efficient in adapting to changing needs. Okay, next I will explain about Maslow hierarchy of needs. So what is Maslow hierarchy of needs? Maslow proposed that human needs can be organized into a hierarchy. This hierarchy ranges from more concrete needs such as food and water to abstract concepts such as self-fulfillment. According to Maslow, when a lower need is met, the next need on the hierarchy becomes the focus of attention. There are 5 categories of needs according to Maslow, which is physiological, safety, social, esteem, and lastly, self-actualization. Firstly, physiological needs. Physiological needs are the lowest level of Maslow hierarchy of needs, as those needs are required for human survival. Maslow also considers physiological needs to be the most essential of our needs. This means if someone is lacking in more than one need, they are likely to try to meet these physiological needs first. For example, managers can fulfill the physiological needs of their employees by providing comfortable working conditions, reasonable working hours, and the necessary break to use for resting. Secondly, safety needs. Safety need is related to a person need to feel safe and secure in their life and surrounding. Personal security, financial security, good health, and protection from accidents are all included in safety need. So, to find stability and security, a person must consider their physical safety, which means seeking protection from all those things that can bring harm to them. For example, managers can account for the safety needs of their employees by providing safe working conditions, secure compensation such as salary and job security, which is especially important in a bad economy. Third, social needs. Social needs are also called as love and belonging, which refer to the need to feel a sense of belonging and acceptance. Humans are social creatures that crave interaction with others. This applies the needs for friendship, intimacy, family, and love. For example, managers can fulfill the social needs of their employees by making sure each of their employees know one another, encouraging cooperative teamwork, being an accessible and kind supervisor, and promoting a good work-life balance. Okay, for the next explanation, I will pass to my friend Shafika. Thank you.
Syafika tak dengar lah.
Okay, sorry, Doctor. Mungkin apa slide?
Boleh.
Asyik lah. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I wish to our lecturer and to all my friends. My name is Nur Shafika binti Muhammad. My matrix number is 049898. I hope everyone will enjoy with my presentation, okay? Okay, now I will continue with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I will explain two more of it, which is categorized as higher order needs, which are estimate and self-actualization. Okay, let's see first at estimate. What is estimate? Estimate involves the desire to feel good about ourselves. According to Maslow, estimate includes two components. Self-confidence and feeling good about oneself, and secondly, feeling valued by others, which is feeling that our achievement and contribution is recognized by other people. So, when people estimate are met, they feel confident and feel their contribution and achievement as valuable and important. But when their estimates are not met, they may experience what psychologist Alfred Herzberg calls feelings of inferiority. What is feelings of inferiority. Feelings of inferiority are those universal human feelings of incompleteness, smallness, weakness, ignorance, and dependency included in our first experience in an infancy and early childhood. Inferiority feelings continue to be experienced to greater or lesser degree throughout adult life. For the well-adapted individual whose sense of fragility and belonging among others is cultivated by education and encouragement, these feelings serve as spurs to effort and as a source of motivation to overcome obstacles to grow and improve of oneself and the community. Okay, the last one for Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization need. What is self-actualization need? It refers to feeling fulfilled or feeling that you are living up to all potential. Essentially, self-actualization means feeling that we are doing what we believe we are meant to do. One unique feature of self-actualization is that it looks different for everyone. For example, for one person, self-actualization involves helping others, but for another person, it might involve achievement of an artistic or creative skill. So, according to Maslow, achieving self-actualization is relatively rare. Some examples of famous self-actualized individuals include Abraham Lincoln and Albert Einstein. Okay, that's all for needs. Now, let's look how people progress through the hierarchy of needs. Maslow postulated that there were several theoretical sides to meeting these needs. But Maslow believed that having this thing makes it easier for people to achieve their needs. Maslow also believes that we have a need to learn new information and to better understand the world around us. This is partially because learning about our environment helps us meet our other needs. By the way, although Maslow presented his needs in a hierarchy, he also acknowledged that meeting each need is not an all-or-nothing phenomenon. Consequently, people don't need to completely satisfy one need in order for the next need in the hierarchy to emerge. So Maslow suggested that people tend to have each of their needs, and those needs lower on the hierarchy, which are physiological, safety, and social, typically the ones people have made the most progress towards. Additionally, Maslow pointed out that behavior might need two or more needs. For example, sharing a meal with someone meets the physiological need, but it might also meet the other need, which is love and belonging. I think I think that's all for my presentation. Thanks for your attention. Now let's proceed with the next presentation by one of Farida Izati, the last presenter of our group. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Nampak tak? Nampak? Nampak. Okay. Okay. Hi. Assalamualaikum. My name is Wanya Fariza Izati. My entry number is 050222. Okay. So my part is about I want to tell all of you about personal motivation versus team motivation. Okay. So I'm going to divide into 4 parts. The first one is motivation. The second one is goal.
the third one is responsibility, and the last one is reward. Okay, so the first one is motivation. If an employee is not motivated to complete the task, a private meeting must be done to determine why. Then, to motivate the entire team by inspiring the individual may be more cost effective and profitable for a small business. And then we can see that by motivate individually, we actually can boost up the motivation of all the entire team. So for the motivation part, we can simply say that the personal motivation is very important, especially when we're having a problem and we want to solve it. They use the private meeting to handle the problem. For example, like private meeting is between the president and the workers. So there were only 2%. Where there was only 2%, so they will easily share problems, and the president will motivate individually to the workers. So the president will boost up the worker momentum, boost up worker confidence, and boost up worker energy. So they will be more energetic, will be more confident, and will be more boost up momentum. For example, like the president will have a discussion to employee to boost up and give the motivation, such as discuss what will the worker do to having a better good life. So the employee will give the motivation more to the workers. And then we can also do a good group meeting, but I think the private motivation will be more effective to the employee and employer. Okay, the second one is about goals. As the business owner, for example, we can improve the moral of an individual employee by explaining how important the position is to meeting the goal of the entire team. The second one, understanding why the duties performed are vital to successfully completing the project can be inspiring to another members. The third one, motivating the team by stressing intermediate and overall goals of the project keeps performance on track to meet the deadline and deliver assignment that help your company achieve its mission. And then the last one is when the group recognize its contribution to the operation of your business, working toward a goal keeps the members focused and team morale high. So for the goal, we can say that to achieve the goal, we must motivate the worker. How we do it? So for example, like as a president, he will personally motivate to the vice president. He told the vice president that for this month, we must achieve this goal. So the vice president personally motivate the director, and the director personally motivate to the manager and the others. Okay, so if they not achieve this goal, they also use the private motivation to motivate the workers to boost up the momentum, and they must keep the goal for this month, for example, like that. So another example, like for example, like if for this month the company has to target 1 billion. So they have a direction to the workers that for this month we must achieve the 1 billion. So if the company didn't have the goal, so the workers didn't have the direction. So what will they do? So the goal is give the workers to have the more motivation personally. So the third one is about responsibility. Okay, allowing employee to take responsibility for completing works assignment help them control their productivity and be accountable for the duties they perform. And then individual staff members display more creativity when left to determine their own process to accomplish tasks. And then motivate the entire team by allowing the group to map out details of how the project will be complete and each step in between. actually the goal and responsibility is complete each other, because with the good responsibility, so they will achieve the goal. So something like that. So the last one is about reward. Rewarding an individual employee in your company may result in competition between staff members. Employees are motivated to beat their co-workers. After that, on the other hand, a team is rewarded on the basis of the group performance and not just one employee. Last one, if everyone complete the necessary tasks to successfully finish the assignment, the entire team enjoy the benefit earned. So for reward, we can simply say that actually we can do a personal reward or group reward. But if we do the personally reward, it will give the personally motivation. So the workers will be more motivated, and it help the worker to work harder and harder. So it's a very important to private motivate to a person. So as a conclusion, motivating both individual member and team member is actually completing each other lah, between members, between team and individual. But actually, for me, I think that the personal motivate is actually a baby step. This is the first one that we must do. So I think that's all from me and our group. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, very good. I'm happy. Thank you. The second group, please.
Grup 8 tu.
Nampak tak?
Nampak tak?
Nampak bos.
Nampak.
Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our lecturer, Dr. Bayah binti Abdul Halim, and all my fellow classmates. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Aisha binti Aziz, 050970, and my group members are Nur Farah Fatini binti Zakaria, 051633, and Siti Nur Syuhada binti Aminuddin, 050684. Okay, our topic for presentation today is individual motivation, which is the same topic as group before. Okay, let's start now. Farah. The contents of this template are first, definition of motivation, next, importance of motivation, types of motivation, and theories of motivation. First of all, motivation defined as an urge to behave or act in a way that will satisfy certain conditions, such as wishes, desires, or goals. Next, we move to the importance of motivation. Importance of motivation. First, motivation will help him to achieve his personal goal. When you're motivated, you have a desire to change your life. Motivation pushes you towards your goal because of a desire to change. Motivation helps you clarify your goals so you know exactly what you're working towards. Secondly, if an individual is motivated, he will have a good job satisfaction. Next, motivation will help him in self-development of an individual. When motivated, it becomes easy to continue develop ourselves. Because a motivated person feels confident to try new things and develop all the time. And lastly, an individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. Working in teams increases collaboration and allows brainstorming. As a result, more ideas are developed and productivity improves. Next. Types of motivation. There are two main categories of motivation, which are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is a type of motivation in which an individual is being motivated. For examples, acceptance, curiosity, honor, independence, social status, and social contract. Meanwhile, for extrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is a type of motivation in which an individual is being motivated by external desires. For examples, Employee of Month Award, benefit package, bonus, and organized activities. Next. Okay, for the next slide, we continue with the theories of motivation. First theory is Maslow hierarchy of needs. In the 1950s, Abraham Maslow described 5 categories of human needs that motivate us to behave in a ways that help us fulfill those needs. This is the hierarchy of needs of Maslow. Next. The hierarchy is made up of 5 levels, which are physiological, safety, love or belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Physiological, these needs must be met in order for a person to survive, such as food, water, and shelter. Next, safety. This is need for security and protection from physical and emotional threats, such as by having job security, have insurance, and a retirement plan. The third one is love or belonging. The needs for friendships, relationships, and family. The fourth is esteem. The need to feel confident and be respected by others. And the last level of the hierarchy is self-actualization, which is the desire to achieve everything you possibly can and become the most that you can be. For the other theories, I will pass this presentation to Farah Fatini and Siti Noshua David Aminuddin. That's all. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Aisha. So another story, gift of motivation, was given by Herzberg, that is known as Frederick Herzberg, and theory is known as Herzberg motivation theory. So Frederick Herzberg conducted a study at case at Western Reserve University. It was an analysis of the experience and feelings of 200 engineers and accountants in 9 different companies. What did he was study? They were asked to describe a few things in their job where they felt exceptionally good and exceptionally bad about their job. So he wanted to classify certain factors where employees felt very good about their job and they also felt very bad about their job. What he found was that people who felt good about their job gave different response from the people who felt bad. So he came up with different categories of factor. One is known as hygiene factor and another one is known as motivational factor. So what is hygiene factor? Hygiene factor is there are some job conditions which dissatisfy employees when they are absent, but their presence does not motivate them. Next factor which are opposite to the hygiene factor, that is known as motivational factor. So motivational factor is there are some job conditions which with strong motivation and job dissatisfactions when they are present, but their absence rarely prove dissatisfying. Motivate refers to as factor for satisfaction, and hygiene factor refers to as a factor for dissatisfaction. So in hygiene factor, we could include company policies, relationship with boss, supervisions, work conditions, and salary. So for company policies, this should be fair and clear to every employee. They must be equivalent to those of competitors. Second is relationship with boss. There should be no tolerance for bullying or bullying. A healthy, amiable, and appropriate relationship should exist between peers, superiors, and subordinates. Third is supervision. Supervision must be fair and appropriate. The employee should be given as much autonomy as is reasonable. Fourth is work condition. Equipment and the working environment should be safe, fit for purpose, and hygienic. And the last one is salary. The pay structure should be fair and reasonable. It should also be competitive with other organizations in the same industry. For motivators factor, which is include the job itself, recognition, achievement, responsibility, and advancement. So for the job itself must be interesting, varied, and provide enough of challenge to keep employees motivated. Second is recognition. A job must provide an employee with praise and recognitions of their success. This recognition should come from both their superiors and their peers. Third is achievement. Achievement is a job must give an employee a sense of achievement. This will provide a proud feeling of having done something difficult but worthwhile. Fourth is responsibilities. Employees should own their work. They should hold themselves responsible for this completion and not feel as though they are being micromanaged. And the last one is advancements. Promotion opportunity should exist for the employee. Next is there is a two-step process to use the two-factor theory model to increase the motivation. The first one is eliminate job hygiene stressor. The first step to enhancing the motivation of is ensure that the hygiene factor are not causing dissatisfactions. So there are some common steps to remove hygiene stressor, which is rectify petty and bureaucratic company policies. Second is ensure each team members feel supported without feeling micromanaged. Third is ensure the day-to-day working culture is supportive, no bullying, no clique, everyone treated with equal respect. Fourth is ensure that salaries are competitive within the industry. Ensure there are no major salary disparities between employees doing similar job. And the last one is to increase job satisfaction and status. Aim to conduct job in such a way that each team member find their job meaningful. Next is the second step to use the two-factor theory model to increase the motivation, which is boost job satisfaction. There are three techniques which can be used to achieve this, which is job enrichment, job enlargement, and employee empowerment. For job enrichment, it is mean enriching a team member's job by giving them more challenging or complex tasks to perform. These more complex tasks should make the job more interesting. Next is job enlargement. Job enlargement means giving a team member a greater variety of tasks to perform. This variety can also make a job more interesting. And the last one is employee empowerment. Employee empowerment means delegating, increasing responsibility to each team member. This can be done by slowly increasing the amount of responsibility you delegate to an employee. So for the next slide, I'm going to pass to Siti Noshada. That's all from me. Thank you.
Tak dengar suara Siti Nur Syuhada.
Shu buka mic.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Farah. Now I will explain to you about the next theory, which is McGregor's theory X and theory Y. This theory were formulated by Douglas McGregor in 1960. He suggested that there were two aspects of human behavior at work, or in other words, two different views of individuals, one of which is negative, called theory X, and the other of which is positive, called theory Y. According to McGregor, the perception of managers on the nature of individuals is based on various assumptions of human behavior. These assumptions are characterized in two opposite directions, as I told you earlier. For theory X, these assumptions about human nature are negative, and for theory Y, these assumptions about human nature are positive. Okay, the assumption for theory X is that employees dislike work, are lazy, dislike responsibility, and must be coerced to perform. While the assumption for theory Y is that employees like to work, are creative, takes responsibility, and can exercise self-direction to achieve the organizational objective. Okay, you can see the details about characteristics of employees of theory X and theory Y in the comparison table here. So after looking at the details in the comparison table here, we can say that theory X presents a pessimistic view of employees, nature, and behavior at work, while theory Y presents an optimistic view. Okay, theory X nowadays because theory X encourages an authoritarian style of management. It implies that employees are reluctant to accept organizational changes and they must be coerced and forced to do something. Meanwhile, many organizations are using theory Y techniques because theory Y encourages a participative leadership style, where managers should create and encourage a work environment which provides opportunities to employees to practice initiative and self-direction. It harmonizes and matches employees' needs and aspirations with organizational needs and aspirations. So, as a conclusion, though these theories are very basic in nature, they provide platform for future generations of management theorists and practitioners to understand the changing dynamics of human behavior. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The third group, please.
Oh, nampak.
Hello. Assalamualaikum. Boleh dengar tak, madam?
Salam, boleh?
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to our lecturer, Dr. Bahia binti Abdul Halim, and all my fellow classmates. So, we are from group 9. We will also be presenting about the individual motivational concept. So, before starting our presentation, I will firstly introduce to all of you to my group mate. I am Muhammad Ahmad bin Zafri, and my matric number is 050446. And the other two gentlemen that are going to be presenting with me today are Mr. Adam and also Mr. Safwan. Okay, so for today's topic, we are going to talk about the definition of motivation, the external and internal factor of motivation, characteristic of motivation, and also the importance of motivation. We are also going to talk about the components of motivation which are going to be in an organization. So I hope all of you can hear my voice very loud and clear, and I hope you can pay attention to our presentation today. So let's begin. Firstly, what is motivation? Motivation can be simply defined as the need or desire to do something. People often generalize unmotivated people with being lazy. So do you think this is really true? Okay, for instance, we make an example. Consider Ashraf, a student that always get high grades in chemistry. He is not interested in his textbook and he doesn't want to read and do exercises. Yes, he is intelligent, but he doesn't do the reading needed to get A's or even B's. You might say that Ashraf is unmotivated about reading, or say that he is lazy. But when the latest comic book or anime in his favorite series come out, he is the first in line to grab it. And he reads it from cover to cover when the first chance he gets, and then a couple of times more before he finally puts it down. He also even memorized the lines, carefully considered the storyline, and message and make a group chat to his friend speculating about the anime and about the theory about on the storyline of the anime. And he also even make the anime opening song as his smartphone ringtone. So there is nothing lazy or unmotivated about that. Motivation occurs when an individual interact with a situation. It is a state of mind where the individual determines the level of desire, interest, and energy that will be translated into action. Okay, one of the three main performance or success element is motivation. Research actually indicates that success is a function of skill or ability, motivation, and chance. Ability refers to a person's or a team's ability to perform a task. Opportunity refers to the timing and situation around the task. For example, if a hospital is known for successful heart transplant, it must have a team of surgeons who are skilled in carrying out transplant. This is what we call ability. And there must be sufficient room and facilities for carrying out the transplant as well as the patient who need them. So the patient contribute to the opportunity. Managers have little control over ability and opportunities can only be slightly affected. Okay, for motivation, motivation consists of three main components, which are direction, pressure, and also persistence of effort. Firstly, let's take that definition a little further. Direction refers to the area to which an individual focuses his efforts and quality of those focused efforts. The direction of the example earlier, Ashraf, the direction of Ashraf reading, which is reading comic book instead of textbooks, is very poor. When he read his textbook, the quality of the effort Ashraf puts into the activity is also poor. He doesn't commit lines to memory or absorb themes like he does when he reads comic book. And the next one is pressure or intensity. It refers to how hard a person tries to achieve his or her goal. Ashraf clearly enjoys reading and does a lot of it. Yes, his intensity for reading is high, but it is only for the comic book, and the intensity on studying chemistry is very low. And finally, there is persistence, or the amount of time an individual can maintain the effort to achieve a goal. Ashraf like to read comic book. He is persistent about that, but it remains to be seen that if he will return to his textbook and try to read those. Right now, Ashraf opened up his textbook and tries to read, but he does not try to read for it for a very long time. His level of persistence is not where it needs to be considered him motivated. A person's motivation changes from situation to situation and over time. Perhaps Ashraf's motivation to read his textbooks will change if he find he is about to be expert, and or maybe as the semester continue, he will be more interested in chemistry than he originally thought, and those textbook will become easier to read. So, for the next slide, we will talk more about external and internal um, motivation. So, I will pass this presentation to Ms.
Assalamualaikum, boleh nampak tak? Okay.
Nampak.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Adamadi bin Cik Ahmad. My matric number is 050158. Okay, today I want to talk about the intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. So for intrinsic motivations come from within, and it's usually driven by individuals needs to do something for themselves. So we can say each person have their own unique desires. So they do something to achieve their own desires. So they do that because of themselves. There is different between the extrinsic and external. Extrinsic is motivations come from an external source, arise of outside of the individuals. Let's say now in era of COVID-19, many people do the second job to earn additional money. So why they do the job? Because the extended family member. So the extended family member is the external source of the motivation. So next I will talk about the characteristic of motivation. First is motivation is psychological concept. So motivation have to come for each individual. There are two desire factor of motivation, which is first is fundamental needs and second is satisfaction and self-esteem. So for the second is goals are motivators. Goals and motivator are inseparables because someone do something to achieve the goals. So that means that the goals encourage and motivate someone to achieve the goals. So the third is motivation is different from satisfaction and inspections. Okay, first, motivations refer to the effort to achieve and satisfy the goals and the wants. This different from the satisfaction. Satisfaction refer to the contentment experience when what we want has satisfied. It's also motivation different between inspiration because the inspiration refer to bringing about the change in thinking pattern. So for the last characteristic is non-fulfillment of basic need make someone sick. If anybody fail to meet a need which he feel essential for them, so they become to some extent mentally like frustrated, so they can be motivated and any further until the essential need are satisfied. So next I will talk about the importance of motivation. First is increase efficiency and output. Motivations make employee work harder. It induces them to exert energy and effort, thus improving their level of efficiency and showing their performance. This also result increase in productivity and reduce cost and improve efficiency. The second is achievement of goal. Goals can be achieved if coordination and cooperation take place simultaneously, which can be effective done through motivation. Employee will put them the best effort into the works when they are motivated. So it easily to achieve a goal when the employee was motivated. The third one is productive use of resources. Modern organization work through physically, financially, and human resource. Motivation enable people to convert the physical and financial resource into the useful product. So for the last importance is development of friendly relationship. Motivation bring employee closer to the organization when the needs of employee through them the attractive reward, give them promotional, give them opportunity and etc. So in this case, employee become to take more interest in the organization when uh they become appreciate. So that's all for me. I will pass to Ifan Safar for the more explanation.
Okay, sekejap ni. Okay, semua boleh nampak ke?
Yes.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Ifan Safar Miroslan. I'm representing the last segment, and this is the additional segment from our group. It's appreciation component of motivations. In other words, the motivation during works when can be applied. Okay, there are 9 motivation at workplace. Okay, first of all, set realistic goals. As we know, the as present is now. The characteristic of the motivations is goals. So we must create work environment that provide the greatest possibility for employees to achieve individual or group goals. A motivating work environment provide clear direction so that employees know that so that employees know what is expected from them. Hand in hand with clear directions, employees should have goals that fit with the company's strategic framework. Next is we promote positive employee esteem. Okay, a person who has high self-esteem are more likely to continuously improve the work environment. They're willing to take intelligent risks because they are confident in their ideas and their competence to take on new challenge while performing capably. In other words, they are very confident in their ability to contribute at the workplace. They shine with motivation in your workplace. Next, learns what people want. Okay, every employee has different motivation for why they work, but we all work because we obtain something that we need from work. Something that we obtain, something that when we obtain it will give an impact in our moral and motivations. Okay, by learning what employee needs, wants and needs will help you to calculate the next step in work motivation in workplace. Next. Next is provide employee recognition. Okay, employee recognition can increase motivation when it is offered and implemented effectively. The appreciation and rewards followed by trust, increase employee satisfaction, factor toward supervisor and workplace. It is one of the key to success employee motivation. And next, the quality, and next the training and development. The quality and the variety of training options that you supply for employees are key for motivation. You can provide training including new employees, onboarding, management development, new concept of group work, team building, and how to operate a new computer system. They all add to a working environment that each would be proud to call home. Okay. Then we need to provide autonomy to high-performing employees. The challenge in any work environment is to create a culture in which people are motivated by their work. Too often, organizations fail to pay attention to the issues that are most important to employees: relationship, communication, recognition, and involvement. Okay, workers who perform well should not be rewarded by having a manager who is already looking over their shoulder. If an employee is perform well, they should have no need to watch every little thing they do. In fact, your micromanagement is likely to destroy the intrinsic motivation in workplace. In other words, we must give some trust to the for the employee that perform very well. And the last three is celebrate holiday and create traditions. Traditions are as important in organization as they are in family. Nothing is more important for employees' motivation than the annual tradition workplace create for seasonal holidays. A holiday celebrate both positive morale, which result in increased motivation. High morale and motivation contribute to team building and productivity. Try some holiday and traditional celebration to build positive morale and motivation in your workplace. Wah, silap. Okay, next. Number 8, tap in employees' discretionary energy. Employees should have much discretionary energy to exert for their employees in the workplace. Discretionary energy is the extra drive that an employee exerts in service to co-workers and customers at work. An employee pays for the fundamental tasks that he hired an employee to perform. Discretionary energy is a symptom of motivation. Only motivated employees contribute their discretionary energy at work. And the last one is promote your personal growth and motivations. No matter how positive your workplace culture and environment are, you have the steering role in promoting your personal growth and motivations. You can promote your own personal growth, motivations, and career development to overcome boredom, inertia, and stillness. Your employee can contribute to your employer can contribute to your growth and motivation too. These are the best workplace for all employees. Okay, before I end our presentations, I would like to tell a story. Okay, Another slide. Okay, it's all from us, but I would like to tell a story. And excuse me, I will explain it in Malay. Okay, saya ada abang saudara saya ni, dia CEO satu syarikat ni. Syarikat dia buat bisnes, dia buka perkapalan. Maksudnya kapal macam Petronas ke, yang buat minyak ke, yang guna kapal, yang guna long term, yang guna kapal atas laut. Dia akan buka tender untuk menyewakan tempat tinggal atas laut. Macam mana dia, syarikat dia adalah kapal-kapal untuk menyediakan tempat laut untuk pekerja-pekerja yang macam gali minyak semua tu, Petronas. Dia syarikat kecil tapi dia punya untung dia besar sebab dia long term punya ni. Macam satu tender tu macam 6 bulan, setahun, jadi untung dia macam banyak lah. Jadi jadi kerja dia sangat serius kan. Tapi dia punya, masa saya ni, dia punya CEO ni, dia provide satu space dekat dia punya syarikat macam tempat kerja dia. Satu place tu tempat rehat. Banyak company, itu biasa dah kan. Ada tempat rehat semua. Tapi dia punya tempat ni lain macam sikit. Dia punya ni, dia ada tempat tu untuk ruang tu ada TV. Dia ada PS4. Jadi dia setiap kali time kerja kan, lepas dia macam dah stress tu, dia akan keluar daripada bilik dia, tu dia tanya dekat dia punya staff. Korang tengah buat apa kan? Saya cakap tengah buat kerja lah kan. Gitu kan. Tengah buat kerja kan. Tapi international lah kan. Lepas tu dia cakap dah berhenti kerja, jom kita main PS. So dia macam create environment that bagi dia selesa. So selesa dengan staff-staff dia, dengan dia punya CEO. Jadi staff dia tak ada dah macam takut nak present, nak buat kerja dengan CEO dia. Macam tu. Itulah cerita. Maksudnya dia create environment yang menarik lah untuk ruang tempat kerja. Apa yang cuba saya sampaikan sekarang daripada cerita ni adalah, cerita ni motivation ni macam dia luas tau. Kita boleh kreatif. Macam-macam bentuk kita boleh buat untuk macam bentuk untuk motivate diri kita dan juga orang sekeliling kita. Bagi contoh, kita sebagai seorang student, pertama-tama sekarang tengah belajar online, kita kena pandai, kita tahu diri kita sendiri apa yang kita perlukan untuk apa yang kita minat dan apa yang interest kita untuk interest kita. Jadi kita gunakan interest kita tu untuk motivate diri kita. Contoh kita tetapkan kita akan buat kerja, dan lepas kita siap kerja, kita akan reward diri kita. Contoh kalau macam saya suka makan dan main game, saya akan reward diri saya makan dan main game. Contoh lah. Formula lain-lain lah. Gitu. Itu je lah daripada saya. Dan it's all from us, group 9, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Among us jugalah baca buku textbook tu jangan lupa, sebab test nanti memang kita tengok textbook tu lah. Right. Okay, kawan juga kata tadi background office concept yang menarik you boleh tengok juga lah kat sini Google punya office dia punya macam ni memang tak tercapai lah. Kalau dekat Uniza tu memang kita tak ada lah konsep-konsep macam ni. Ni office dia, tengok ada slide siap. Kalau Pixar Animation Studios pun macam tu juga. Looks cool. Tapi nak kerja sini memang payah. Okay. So basically very good sharing session. You boleh tengok lah banyak sangat dalam internet ni. All these office concepts, how to boost the moral of the employees. Tapi dia orang kerja memang stress gila lah. Kan, bukan stress biasa-biasa. Memang kau punya stress dia. Sebab tu they have to have this kind of office concepts. Okay, a good environment to motivate themselves, to create innovation among themselves. Tengok macam ni office dia. It's like a hotel. It looks like a airport pun ada It looks awesome lah, but we cannot have this here. All right, basically, okay, I'm satisfied with the presentation. So insyaAllah next week you can hantar you punya case study, and then we have another 3 presentations. If you have any queries regarding the slide that I have put up in the clip, you can always ask me in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so thank you very much for today. Don't forget your attendance, and also you have to buat quiz sikit ni. Dalam quiz tu ada 2 questions, very simple questions. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. I want to hear from you lah, at least Waalaikumsalam ke, goodbye ke, thank you.
Salam. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr.
Alright, thank you very much.
Thank you.